everyone, and welcome to our today's webinar on Cumberland College MSM E-Summit 2020 Live. Our attendees are in progress of joining the webinar. In the meantime, on the behalf of all of us, MSM and Cumberland team, I hope your family, you and your colleagues are safe and well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you all for taking time and being here today with us. My name is Shivani Sachdeva. I am Manager Canada, overseeing Canadian institutions at MSM. I am delighted and pleased to introduce today's presenters, Ms. Branda, Manager Marketing and Continuous Studies, Sarah, Registrar, Brandy, Cumberland College International Advisor, and Jody, Northeast Newcomer Services. Before I hand over the mic to them, I would like you to run through the control panel. A reminder that everyone is currently unmuted and will encourage you to type the questions, comments throughout the presentation in the Q&A section present in the control panel. Later on the presentation, there will be answering the questions that are asked by you, and in case your questions are not being answered, do not worry, our managers will be getting back to you. In case of any technical issues, please free to drop in message in the chat box. At the end of the presentation, we will be having a polling session. All are requested to be attentive during the presentation, and we request and expect active participation during these polls. The webinar is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. So let's go ahead and let's kickstart the things by welcoming our presenters. Over to you, team.
Thank you, Shivani. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brenda Mellon, and I'm the Manager of Marketing and Continuing Studies at Cumberland College. So on behalf of Cumberland College, I would like to welcome everyone to today's session. Today, we'll discuss the programs and services that are available through Cumberland College. We'll highlight our admission requirements and procedures. We'll discuss the student supports that are available to students as well. I'm pleased to be joined by Sarah, who is our registrar, Brandy as our international advisor, and our partner and colleague in the northeast part of Saskatchewan, Jody Armstrong with Newcomer Services. So to begin, I'll tell you a little bit about the province of Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is located in Western Canada, and Canada is known for having a very good educational system, K-12 as well as post-secondary. We always tell our international students that when they come to Saskatchewan, they can expect to experience 4 very different seasons. We have beautiful lakes and lots of natural attractions all year round. We encourage our students to try some of the winter sports that are available here that they probably haven't had a chance to try in the past. Things like curling, skating, or skiing. We are very close to a ski hill where we live. Saskatchewan is known as the land of living skies. So we really do appreciate beautiful sunsets all year round. And actually the photo that you're seeing right now is from the end of my lane about a month ago. So we see skies like this like every night. And we also have spectacular viewing of the Northern Lights. One thing that I really appreciate about Saskatchewan is that we are the sunniest province in Canada. So why study in Saskatchewan? We are a fairly small province of 1.3 million people. We are safe and we have friendly communities. We have a fairly high quality of life with low living costs as well. So that is one of the benefits of being in a smaller rural community. Our communities are very welcoming and they're becoming more culturally diverse. I've shared a little bit here about the weather conditions. Students can experience all range of weather. So right now we are at the end of our spring season. So we're experiencing about highs of 15 to 20 degrees. In the summer, the average temperature is 25. It can get up to 35. In the fall, it starts to cool off and the leaves start changing colors and the temperature dips. And then into winter is when we have our snowy season, and the average temperature is minus 13, although it can dip down to the minus 30 plus range. So students do have to be prepared for all different types of weather when they're in Saskatchewan. So why Cumberland College? We're a fairly small college, and that allows us to have a lot more student interaction. Our average class size is approximately 15 students, so that provides a lot of student-teacher interaction. We, because of our size, and I think the nature of people in Saskatchewan, we're friendly and it's a relaxed atmosphere. I think families can feel comfortable sending their children to live in Saskatchewan because it is a safe place. And we have state-of-the-art facilities. Students have access to the latest in technology for their labs and hands-on activities. I've already mentioned that we have low living expenses here. And it's a great way for your students to experience another culture, but also for the Canadian students to experience another culture. For example, our continuing care instructor incorporates a section on culture every year. And I know that our Indian students really enjoy sharing about their culture and customs, and our domestic students enjoy doing the same. Cumberland College offers programs that are designed to meet the local labor market needs. We have a program planning council that meets several times throughout the year, and we review the programs that are going to be offered over the next couple of years. And one of the main things that we look at is the rate of employment and the possibilities for students locally as well as in Saskatchewan. So if you have students who are hoping to stay in Canada, stay in Saskatchewan, they have strong employment opportunities with the programs that are provided. 99% of our students are satisfied, very satisfied with the programming that is offered through Cumberland College. We really try to ensure that we're offering high quality programming with lots of supports for our students. And our international students can also apply for scholarships and awards. So we offer approximately $100,000 annually in scholarships. So our international students can apply. Once they are admitted, we have general awards that open up at the end of December each year, and all students are eligible to apply for those. Next, I'll tell you a little bit about our communities where Cumberland College has campuses. We have 3 campus locations. We call ourselves Northeastern Saskatchewan, but if you look on a map, we're more like East Central Saskatchewan. All of our communities are full service communities with access to high quality healthcare. We have numerous recreational facilities, as well as good shopping in all of our communities. So Melfort is where I live. It's a small city of 6,000 people, and we have all of the amenities that I discussed, and we're about an hour to a larger city, as well as a larger city of Saskatoon is about an hour and 45 minutes away. Nipawin is actually our main campus. It's our main administrative office, and we offer a lot of our trades programming at our Nipawin campus. It's a population of about 4,400 people. Nipawin is known for the beautiful lakes and recreational activities that are nearby. You can see the photo of the golf course in this presentation. So Nipawin is situated on the edge of the forest. So lots of opportunities to be out in nature and to go to the lake year round. And Tisdale is the third community where we have a campus, and Tisdale is in the center of our region. So it often is a meeting point for people in the area. It has a population of 3,200, and again, offers all of the same quality healthcare, recreational activities, and shopping in that center as well. Before we begin the information about the programs, I'd like to spend a few minutes just to provide an update on the coronavirus pandemic situation. As of today, Saskatchewan is starting phase 3 or stage 3 of the Reopening Saskatchewan plan. There are 5 phases. So right now we are still ensuring physical distancing, but as of today, the increased number of indoor public and private gatherings has increased to 15, and outdoor gatherings has increased to 30 people at a time. Many of our stores and services are reopening, and currently our K-12 as well as post-secondary programming is completing this academic year online or via alternate delivery. Most of the, all of the post-secondary institutions in the province are looking at online or alternate delivery in the fall for the new academic year. And currently right now, Cumberland College staff are still working from home. So we're all working, but we aren't currently at our campuses. So at Cumberland College, we may be modifying or adjusting programming or services based on provincial and federal governments, as well as the recommendations of our Saskatchewan Chief Medical Officer. So right now, we have submitted a plan, a reopening plan, and we are waiting for approval and the recommendation from our Chief Medical Officer. So I'm sure that you're wondering about refunds and how that would affect your students. So want to reassure you that we will be providing full refunds for students who've paid deposits, and in their letter, they would be given a designated due date. So if it has anything to do with COVID restrictions, so it could be travel ban or border closures or illness or anything related to COVID, we would be providing a full refund for students. Students would also receive a refund if their visa was not approved, or if our programming became full at the time that the deposit was paid. So the other highlight that I'd like to mention right now is that Cumberland College is currently exploring the possibility of online delivery for international students that are unable to start in the fall. We have been having numerous meetings with our post-secondary and provincial partners around international students, and we want to ensure that we are providing the best supports when students do arrive. So we are collaborating right now to ensure that we have a coordinated approach when students arrive and in province, because it does look like there will be a mandatory 14-day isolation period. So we are working with our provincial counterparts to ensure that we are all supporting students in a similar manner. Next, I'm pleased to share some information with you about the upcoming programs that will be starting this fall. We have 3 certificate programs. They're all one-year certificates that are available for international students. As I mentioned before, all of these certificates are geared to help prepare for employment in-demand opportunities with very good earning potential as well. So you'll see this photo is from one of our many potlucks that we like to have. We have lots of student events throughout the year at all of our campus locations, and one of the favorite activities is to get together and have a potluck, share lunch. Next year, we do have 5 programs that will be available for international students. So stay tuned for information about our upcoming programs. So the first program I'd like to highlight is our Agricultural Sciences Certificate. This is a new program for Cumberland College, so we are thrilled to be offering it. Saskatchewan is an agricultural province, and there are many different types of employment related to the agricultural sector. So this certificate will be starting in October. The focus is on crop production and, of course, the state-of-the-art modern agricultural operations. It will include some computer training, and students will also have opportunity to receive like practical, hands-on field skills. Cumberland College has an agricultural advisory committee, and our local producers, we have local producers and industry reps that are part of this committee, and they're very supportive of this program and believe that it will fill a need that's required in the agricultural industry. You'll see that all of our international programs have the same tuition fee. They're $18,000 Canadian a year, plus the student fees and books. As far as career opportunities, these are just a few that are listed. Students find employment as an agricultural field person, crop service provider. They may work in a livestock facility or act as an agricultural sales rep. So now I'm going to turn it over. Sarah and I are going to share this portion of the presentation, and she will discuss the admissions requirements for this program.
Hi everyone. So for the Agricultural Sciences program, the admission requirements are grade 12 with a minimum 50% in the following subjects: English, math, and any science. The English language requirement must be an IELTS overall minimum score of 6.5 with a minimum score of 6 in each component. If you are taking PTE testing, A minimum score of 58 with a minimum communication skills score of 50 is what is required. And just an extra piece of information for this, that's stats will be considered for this, but not accounting for the math component.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next program is the Continuing Care Assistant. Again, a one-year certificate that will begin the beginning of September. This program is also offered at our Melfort campus. And for this type of program, we suggest that students are caring and patient with an upbeat attitude, someone with really good people skills, because they are working with vulnerable people. The most important quality is that they're really focusing on providing excellent care and improving the quality of life, particularly with elders. There's lots of employment opportunities locally within our health region. We actually have a number of these programs running at the same time. We have a full-time program that is open for international students, and we also have 2 part-time programs that are running each year. And there still is demand for this type of employment. So students, they work in special care facilities, or they work and assist people in their home environment. This is by far the most popular in-demand program that we offer to international students, is this program in the health field. So again, employment opportunities, students can work as a continuing care assistant or a special care aide or a home health aide. Sarah, do you want to share the admission requirements?
Sorry, I had my mic on mute. So the admission requirements for the Continuing Care Assistant program is a grade 12. You will need a standard first aid and CPR ED level C or equivalent. That is also something that can be offered when you're here. We do offer that training. Applicants should have personal and physical suitability. And the English language requirements are an overall IELTS score of 6.5 with no module less than 5.5 bands. And again, if you're taking PTE testing, the English language requirement is a minimum score of 63 with a minimum component score of 50.
Thanks, Sarah. And the last program is our Office Administration Certificate. This program will begin late August at our Tisdale campus, and it prepares students to work in a modern office environment. So there's a heavy emphasis on word processing, accounting, using Excel or working in spreadsheets, office procedures, and communications. Again, the tuition is $18,000 per year. Our graduates are finding that they have a very broad job market with this program. So they may work in government, they may work in an educational environment, in health, for example, our local health authority. This is a preferred program. They may work in insurance or other small businesses. So students can specialize in a larger organization with this type of program, or in a smaller setting, they may perform a wide variety of duties. So we've listed some of the career options that are available. So as an administrative assistant or a support staff, a receptionist, customer service rep, or a bookkeeper, just to name a few of the different programs or different positions that students may find. Oops.
And the admission requirements for the Office Admin program is a grade 12, We recommend a keyboarding speed of 25 words per minute. And then the English language requirement has an overall IELTS score of 6.5 with no module less than 5.5 bands. And again, if you're taking the PTE testing, a minimum score of 63 is required with a minimum component score of 50.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Next, I'll be turning it over to Brandy Wicks. Brandy is our International Student Advisor, and she will share some information with you regarding the various supports that are available for our students.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay, so I work as the International Student Advisor, so I work with all incoming international students into the college. We do have an advisor based at all 3 of our campus locations that work with both domestic and international students. And we provide a variety of services that include academic supports. So if students need help in academics in some way, whether they need tutor referrals or they need help setting something like that up, we're here to help them. We help them if they're having issues in class and need help talking to instructors. We help with personal counseling. So if students are finding it difficult to adjust or need some kind of personal support, we provide support in that area. We help students that are looking for work outside or after their program completion. So we can help with expectations on resumes and interviews and different things like that. And of course, that's one-on-one counseling. And we also come into the classroom and do a bunch of different group work and workshops and things like that with students. We work as student advocates, like I said, so if students need support, additional support in any matter while they're here, we provide that additional support and advocacy. We help students apply for scholarships and different programs like that. So our international students are welcome to apply for scholarships, just like our domestic students. And we also help organize the peer mentorship program at the college. So what the peer mentorship program is we have volunteers who were our former international students, and we will connect them with new incoming international students even before they arrive in Canada. And our student mentors will meet online initially and then meet face-to-face when our international students arrive in Canada, and they help them adjust to Canada and help them learn the different expectations in the Canadian classroom. And they'll help show them where the grocery stores are and setting up bank accounts and helping apply for health Saskatchewan health cards and a variety of different services. And it's really just so that when they come to Canada, they have someone in the community that they already know and that they have that connection to help make the adjustment to Canada a little bit easier. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. That is one area that I think we have as a strength is the student supports that are available for our students. We really focus on trying to ensure that they have a positive experience when they're with us at Cumberland College. So that's not only for our international students, but also for our domestic students. So next, we're very fortunate to have Jody Armstrong with us today. She is our partner in the community. She does not work at Cumberland College, but she is with Northeast Newcomer Services, and she's going to share some information about the supports that are available for newcomers in our area.
Hi. Yeah, thanks, Brenda. So I am the settlement advisor for the Northeast region. So our office and services cover all of the Northeast, which includes all locations that were mentioned. So Nipawin, Melfort, and Tisdale. And I'm not an immigration consultant, so I am a community support service. So when newcomers come into the community, the services that I provide to them are directly related to integrating them into the community, reducing stress around being a newcomer and finding services. And I provide information, referrals, and resources to those newcomers. And so like Brenda said, I'm not employed by Cumberland College, but we partner on a lot of things around such as international students and working to figure out what's going on with COVID currently and how we can support students that way, as well as other newcomers in the community, as Cumberland also hosts the English language programs for newcomers as well. In addition to that, I usually don't work directly with international students. However, I can provide them with community resources. And then if they so decide to stay in Canada, whether that be on a work permit after studying here, or if they decide to stay longer and apply for their permanent residency, those are more the services that I provide in the community. So making sure that once they transfer out of that student role with the academic institution, that they still have a support in the community if they're experiencing difficulty finding employment, difficulty finding housing, any difficulties fitting in the community. Those are the types of services that I am here to provide for them. So it's been great being a part of these sessions as well, so that we can kind of work with the students right from the very beginning to make sure that they have a very excellent introduction into the Northeast community. And Brenda, I think that's all. I'll pass it back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jody. Yes, we're very fortunate to have you available in our community. And just recently, Jody was even setting up shop at our Melfort campus once or twice a month. So it's nice to have you in our facilities. Next, we're going to hand it over to Sarah as our registrar, and she is going to share information with you regarding the application process as well as the acceptance procedures.
Okay, so the first thing we would like students to do, or agents to do with the students, is to complete an online application form for the program of their choice on our website. And along with that, there is a $140 non-refundable assessment fee, and that can be paid via Flywire. And what we do is you submit all your official post-secondary and secondary transcripts from your home country. You scan them in. Most people send them in as PDF, but as long as they're legible and clear, we'll accept whatever format. And the original copies eventually have to be presented upon your arrival to Cumberland College in Canada. But what we do is we take those scanned copies and we perform an assessment on those transcripts. And it's just to make sure you meet all those admission requirements that we just talked about. And once you, sorry, I'm just gonna give you 1 second here. Okay, I apologize. We have some home construction going on, so it'll just be 1 second. Once we take all of your documentation and perform that assessment and we know for sure that you meet all those admission requirements, then we will proceed to have an offer letter. So there's the admission portion, and then there's the English language proficiency requirement. So IELTS were the common standard. However, I realize that right now IELTS exams are not open, and so PTE is an option. We are almost set up to take Duolingo, so stay tuned for that. That'll be posted soon on our website. So as long as you meet the admission requirements of the program and the English language, then we go from there. We perform your assessment, and then we issue an offer letter into the program. The address below is where the original transcripts can be sent upon receiving that offer letter. We do need to have official copies sent to us directly. So, from that offer letter, you then can take that. That's where we would make your deposit due. And you would take that letter, pay your deposit, and then we would issue a receipt. And from there, you can go into your study permit application and apply to your visa. The full acceptance letter would be issued at that point as well. And allow at least 3 months for processing your visa. I realized during all of this COVID-19, there's been some barriers there. A lot of the offices in countries are closed to apply for student visas. So we are being patient and working with students and agents, working through all of that, trying to navigate their applications because we realize you may not have access. So allow at least 3 months to process that. And just in the bullet points here, be prepared to provide proof of finances, proof that you have no criminal record, proof of health, and receipt of all documents. And yeah, so submittal, so just to review, submit all your documents, pay your $140 assessment application fee. Once everything's successful and processed, you'll receive your offer letter and your letter of acceptance. And then we request for the tuition deposit is 50% of tuition within 30 days. So it's because tuition's $18,000, we ask for $9,000. And all tuition deposits are required to be paid via Flywire.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah. Next, just the question, why Cumberland College? Well, students can work while they're studying in our communities. If students are a full-time student at a designated learning institution, such as Cumberland College, their program needs to be a minimum of 6 months in length in order to be eligible to work while they're studying. So our programs all meet that criteria. And then after the program, there's the opportunity to apply for a postgraduate work permit. So that's once students graduate, complete their program. The programs must be a minimum of 8 months in length. And our programs meet that requirement. And students can apply then to stay in Canada for the same length of time as their program. And then for those who are wanting to remain in Saskatchewan, there is the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program that they can apply to so that they could work towards gaining their permanent residence status. So that takes us kind of through the bulk of our presentation. And at this time, we would like to ask you a couple of poll questions. The first one is how likely your students will defer to a future term if they need to begin their program online in the fall or for the first term. So if you could give us an indication of how likely they will defer. The second question is, which of the following programs do you think would be of greatest interest to your students? So a one-year certificate in healthcare, such as that continuing care assistant program, a one-year certificate in agriculture, a 2-year business diploma, 4-year undergraduate degree such as education, or a 1-year post-grad certificate.
They have already started filling in the poll, Brenda.
I see that.
Yes.
I can see the results this time, so it's kind of exciting watching them come in.
Yes.
Yes, we greatly appreciate this feedback because it helps us in the immediate future, but as well as with our long-term planning. As I mentioned, we do know which programs will be offered next year for international students, and we always work at least 2 years out at a time with our planning.
And you can see the final results now.
Okay. Okay, and can I see the, sorry.
Can
I'm
you
just,
see them?
yes, I'm just looking at the, thank you very much for the feedback. I see 60% have indicated 2-year diploma in business. So I'm very pleased to report that that is on our list for next year. So hopefully you can encourage your students to look at that program. We are offering it this year, but they're starting the second year right now. So if somebody had a 1-year certificate, we could look at having them join in for this fall, but otherwise students can prepare for the next academic year, so September of 2021. So thank you very much for the feedback. Really appreciate that.
Right. They answered for the first one as well.
Yes, I saw that as well. Thank you, because
Yes.
that does help us right now to expect that most students, the majority of students, would be looking to defer. And so that does help us as far as our immediate situation as well, and how we move forward for this year. So thank you very much.
Right. So I believe it's time to answer a few questions because there are questions rolling in. So should we go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So there are questions regarding Duolingo. Are we accepting Duolingo test?
We are in the process of looking into it, so I just wanted to mention it because the IELTS tests have not, you can't write IELTS right now, and we've had an increase in inquiries about Duolingo, so we're a couple steps away from being set up, but we should be set up for the end of June.
Right. What will be the TAT of an offer, for an offer? Turnaround time.
Yeah, so from the time you apply to the time you get the documentation in and pay the fee, it takes 10 to 15 business days after that to do the assessment. So I usually say like 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
From the time you apply to when you'll get that acceptance, yeah.
All right. There's a question from a panelist, from a attendee. They're asking how much gap will be accepted after grade 12? I know we have answered this question many a times, but we have new audience.
Okay, sorry, say what, I don't understand the question.
How much gap we will be accepting after grade 12? How much gap, study gap we will accept?
How much time between their grade 12 and when they come,
Yes.
Sarah? So I don't think that's an issue as far as we know.
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue. Like our application deadline for fall is June 30th. However, with grade 12 students, I know some of your exams aren't being written in India until July. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But
so I think
they're talking in general. They're asking if I have done my grade 12 in 2017 and I do not have any qualification after that. Will I be accepted?
yes, yeah, you would still be considered as long as you completed the grade 12. You don't have to be coming straight from your grade 12. If there's a gap in there, that's okay. That will be okay. Just know that with the English language exams, that those have to be within 2 years. That's the only thing. So if you wrote your English language around the time you graduated, you would probably want to redo that again. Those have to be for 2 years. But as far as the grade 12, it doesn't matter.
Right. Thank you. There's a question where they're asking if there will be any assistance for finding the accommodation airport pickup for students coming in.
Yes, we can work with students on that. And again, that's where our peer mentorship program comes into play. So our mentors help students make arrangements for accommodations in the communities and may also pick up students from the airport.
Great. They're asking what are the facilities available for students except, the study curriculum? What are the facilities available for international students on campus?
Facilities. We have, we don't have a lot of like extra facilities, recreational facilities right on our campuses. As I mentioned, we're a fairly small college. So students do go out into the community for recreational activities. For example, if they want to try a different sports club or go swimming, we have swimming pools at all of our locations, just as an example, and skating rinks. And but on campus, we have our classrooms, we have meeting areas, tutorial spaces, we have like spaces for students to have lunch and meet with other students. But the focus is really more on the academic side right at campus. But we do make an effort to get the students out into the community and see what services are available.
Right. Thank you for answering that. There's another question where they're asking, if the student reaches there, are they given a person to be accommodated with, because they are new to the city, they are new to the college? Would there be any assistance for those, for helping?
For students to share accommodation?
Yeah,
we have had that situation in the past where a couple of international students arrived at the same time and decided to share accommodations. So I think that happened kind of naturally by contacting the college and people making connections with one another.
All right. Right, thank you. There's another question they're asking, how big is the class? How many students are accommodated in one class?
Most of our programs have about 15 students. Sometimes, like our continuing care program, as I mentioned, is a very popular program. So it's a larger number, but not really that large. I think we had, what, 22? 23 in the full-time program.
Right. And how many Indian students would be there in the campus?
We've had, like in some of the programs, like the continuing care, last year we had 7 Indian students enrolled in that program, for example. So 7 of the 23.
Great. That's a good strength, and I'm sure it will increase in the coming time.
We hope so, yes.
Yes. They're asking, what is the job employment rate in Saskatchewan? If you can, or how better it is in Saskatchewan.
I don't have that figure right off the top of my head. Does anybody else on the panel?
I don't have that number in my head.
In Northeast Saskatchewan, I believe we're under the northern area for unemployment rates. So I believe we sit in the area of an unemployment rate of about 13%. However, that's very general, whereas Cumberland offers very specific programs that target the markets that are open for looking for people to come in for employment. So the employment rate or the unemployment rate in the area doesn't necessarily reflect the programs that are being offered at Cumberland. Those markets are much more open, whereas the unemployment rate is very general.
Right. Right. There's a question. Do we accept distance education? Students who are from India and other part, they do a private qualification also, a grade 12 from a private institute or a private not being full-time student. Can that be accepted?
That is something we'd have to do an assessment on with our brokering institutions. I'm not sure about that. We'd have to find out if it meets the standard grade 12, then yes. And if it doesn't, then no. Yeah.
And there's a question for continuing care program. Can nurses from India can apply for that program?
Yes, we've had nurses apply and enroll in the program in the past.
Okay.
We've had a number of people who have credentials in healthcare when they take that program.
Right. There's a question, just in case that the student has paid the fees, is it refundable in any case? Is there a policy where just in case they change their mind or due to some circumstances, is there a chance to get that fees back?
Only if it's around COVID. If the student chooses to cancel just for a reason that's not outlined, that we outlined today, proof of a student visa refusal, or the program becomes full at the time that they pay, or if it's COVID related, those are the only three reasons that there would be a refund. Because we need students to commit, because we're committing to students, and so that's our policy, is those 3 points that we went over in the presentation.
Right.
Right. Anything connected to COVID, there would be a full refund. So if there was a travel ban or some kind of restrictions or a health situation, for sure we would provide.
But if it's because you're picking another school or that kind of thing, unfortunately there wouldn't, then that doesn't apply.
And that's a refund from the college directly, but if there was any fees related to the visa through the government of Canada, that would be separate from the college application fees.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for answering those questions. We still have many questions rolling in, but due to lack of time, we need to answer those questions later on. And attendees, do not worry if your answers are not answered. Questions are not answered right now. We will be answering them later stage, right? Before we end, the team, would you like to say anything to the attendees?
Yes, I would. I'd like to thank everyone for spending this time with us today. We appreciate that this is nearing the end of your work day. It's the start of ours. We hope that you've learned a little bit about Cumberland College, have a bit of a sense of who we are and the types of programs that are available. We're a small college, but we take great pride in getting to know our students and really trying to provide the best opportunity, the best educational opportunity for them. So I encourage you to please reach out if you have further questions, because people are here to answer and support that. I'd like to thank Sarah and Jody and Brandy for participating on the panel, and a big thank you to the MSM team for facilitating the session for us. We really appreciate the support that you provide us.
Thank you so much, Brenda, and thank you everyone for such a wonderful insight presentation. It was very helpful, and I'm sure we have answered many questions which were unanswered, and students are still struggling what to do, when to do, how to do. So we have pretty much answered many of them. And before we sign off, I would like to thank the attendees as well, and would request them to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube platforms, so that you can know about the upcoming intakes and upcoming events we are having. And you can also visit our website, that is www.msquaremedia.com, for further updates. Thank you everyone for participating. We hope to see you next time. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Jody Chan. Thank you, Sarah, Brenda, and Jody.
Great. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.